Hey guys, this is Hermana from Promised Land Stories, and we are at Caesarea, a magnificent archaeological site that was built by, everything points to Herod the Great, with a theater and a hippodrome, and this was a palace, and then a harbor of incredible engineering ingenuity for the 1st century. Now the stone that I'm leaning on has the name Tiberius, which was the Caesar at the time, and the name Pontius Pilate. As you know, that was the prefect that resided over Judea at the time of the trial of Jesus of Nazareth. But something that is very relevant to us as Christians or international Gentiles is the story that happened here. Let me read it from Acts 10 verse 1. At Caesarea, this is this place, there was a man named Cornelius, a centurion in what was known as the Italian regiment. Let's stop right there. First of all, at Caesarea, there's the word Caesar embedded in there. Caesar means foreign rule, and it means the guys that are not friendly, and it's the oppressive regime. And then it says, a man named Cornelius. That's not a Jewish name. And he was a centurion, which means he was a commander over 100 people in the Roman army. The Italian regiment, the people from Rome. So all of that points to the kind of people that you don't want anything to do with, and the kind of people that you want to stay as far away from as you can. Now, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but what happens further is that it describes this guy. He is a God-fearing man. He gives alms to the Jews, and it says that one day an angel appears while he's at prayer and says, Cornelius, your prayers have become a memorial before God. It's like not just like a building site with bricks all over the place. No, prayers have been stacked one on top of the other and has become an altar in the presence of. Now send somebody down to Joppa. Now Joppa is south in that direction, down the coast. You will first find modern Tel Aviv, but adjacent to that is Joppa or Jaffa today. And then the story continues talking about Peter, the fisherman from the Galilee. So he's in the house of Simon the tanner, and he's on the roof at midday, and he sees this object coming down from heaven with unclean animals in. Now in your and my Bibles, it says that it was a sheet, but the translation indicates it could have been a ship sail. And you need to understand, over here was the place where boats came in from the foreign world, from Greece and Rome, and they had the blue jeans and the blue movies. The kind of things you don't want your children to get exposed to. So everything unclean is associated with these ships that come in and import things from the area that Caesar is from Rome, from this foreign regime. So Peter is on the roof. It's midday, he's hungry, he sees the ship sail coming down with unclean animals, and a voice says to him, Peter, slaughter and eat. And he says, no, never in my life. I'm a kosher Jew. I can't touch those things, they're unclean. Second time the voice comes, invites him to slaughter and eat, and the third time the sheet is taken up in heaven again. And the next moment there's a knock at the door. And the host of the house goes down, and who's there? Soldiers from this man Cornelius. And if you were Peter, your heart would start beating, you'll start sweating. You're like, what have I done wrong? Why is this man after me? Leave me alone. But Peter and some of his men are invited to come up to the house of Cornelius. And the rest is, as they say, history. Peter comes, he brings the gospel to this man's household. Cornelius, God-fearing as he is, says, I want to give my life in full surrender to God. How do I come into the kingdom? He gets baptized, and they begin to speak in tongues with the evidence that the Holy Spirit has come to them. And this blows Peter's theology out of the water. Now, if you remember Capernaum, there was another centurion that Jesus also ministered to, also a friend of the synagogue. And this is what Peter is capturing over here. Wow, the Holy Spirit is meant for the Gentiles as well. So I just wanted you to get that context and that cultural understanding of what is going on here and what happens to Peter the moment he gets this message and how that transforms him. So Peter then becomes an advocate, and we see Acts 15 and the council, and only 4 laws are remained from the Mosaic law in order to safeguard the Gentiles' entry. Number 1, they had to abstain from idolatry. Number 2, they had to refrain from fornication. And number 3 and 4 relates to eating blood, either no animals that have been strangled and not eating flesh with the blood still in them. So only those 4 laws remain requirements from the Mosaic law for Gentiles. But we see that the whole door to the Gentile world is affected by this man, Cornelius, who was a hinge to open up the gospel to the Gentile world.